prosperity and peace. Congratulations again on your amazing accomplishments, and always remember to be MDRT.
Thank you, Ian, and once again for making time to join us. It's our privilege to have you this year in 2021. Speaking of 2021, it's been a roller coaster of a ride for many of our countries as we fight the good fight against the coronavirus, COVID-19 virus, and its effects on all our lives. The pandemic has truly changed our clients' perspective on the simple things we take for granted, like travel, wearing a mask, mass events, or even virtual meetings like this. But what about life insurance and MDRT? Has it changed and evolved much over the last 2 years? To share with us on how to become an MDRT during a pandemic, please join me in welcoming Nicholas Chan from Manulife Hong Kong. Nicholas joined Manulife through our top-notch CEO program, which targets high-quality individuals. He has been a top producer every year, and last year, Nicholas even achieved almost 8 times MDRT. Let's hear his journey of good to great. Nicholas.
Thank you, Clinton. It's been such a pleasure to be able to speak here from Hong Kong. And definitely, as what you shared, I really miss traveling, and I really miss just traveling to Singapore, to Malaysia, and even be able to really see you guys face to face. But yeah, thank you for the introduction. And may I just introduce myself again, and I'm Nicholas, and I'm working here in Hong Kong agency, and it's such a privilege to be able to represent the Hong Kong agency to get to share what's my journey for the past 3.5 years as an agent. So I think to start off with, a lot of people might ask me, Nick, what is your background? So actually I graduated from college in 2016. And since then, I was working as a sports reporter and on a local televisions. So yeah, I'm getting used to the whole studio setting, and it just felt so good to be back with the green screen and everything, and it just brings a lot of memories back. But I remember just 3.5 years ago when I made the decision to shift from a sports reporter to a financial advisor, it wasn't easy at all. Because I remember I was just 23 years old. I'm still figuring out what I want to do with my life. And people have been telling me that, Nick, your friends are very young and they might not be able to afford just life insurance, and they might not be even interested in it. And even in Hong Kong, I feel like some of you might be sharing the same feeling too, because being a financial advisor is not necessarily the best job in the world. People won't envy you, and then people won't be like, wow, you're having such a cool career. So for me, the reason why I joined the industry is because I do believe having a good financial planning, it's a very important start as people at my age as they start their career and then planning for their life. So I remember just being as a young agent with no sales experience and just very little network. I started to really crave my journey by distinguishing myself with the other people around me. Because I felt like in the industry, there's a lot of people that perform so much better than you. They have more experience, they have more life experience, and they have more experience as an agent too. But I keep asking myself a question that, why do your people and why do your clients have to choose you, Nick? So I've been thinking that, I have to really establish my own brand. So that's the reason why I started to go to school. The second year when I stepped foot in the industry. So I was actually in also a master program for the past 2 years when I was working as an agent. And that cost me a lot of things that I've been learning. And at the same time that it gives me a mindset that I have to keep pushing limits. I feel like my life is always about breaking through. So after the first year of completing COT, then there's always a mindset in my mind that I feel like one day I will become a TOT. Because I was looking at some of the seniors in my agency, they are having high achievements, they're helping a lot of families, they are very well recognized. And I'd be like, yeah, I want to become some of them one day. So that picture that I chose in my PowerPoint, it's actually one of the pictures that I took in my first year. I was a COT that year, but then I was looking at the TOT status, and I would be like, okay, one day I will be there. So I went in and I took a picture, and then since then, that kind of mindset has been captured in my mind. So I was thinking that, okay, even in 2019, as some of you may know, that in Hong Kong there's a lot of social unrest, and then the society is full with a lot of emotions, and people see limitations. But I keep asking myself that if I'm able to use my career, if I'm able to use my energy to really transmit into doing something that is impossible, then I'm willing to give it a try. So at the end of the day, I remember finishing off like my first TOT at the very last day of 2019. It was remarkable because you felt like I came into the industry believing that, yeah, this whole industry, there's no limits. The sky should be a limit, and I really did it. And I think last year with COVID hits, my biggest lesson that I've been learning is how to transform from agent Nick to leader Nick, because I do not have a very solid management experience. Even though back in the televisions, I was still just managing myself. I have to look good. I have to like present myself well in front of the screen, just like what I'm doing right now. But I think like just last year with a lot of people onboarding in my team, that really gives me a lot of perspective that I really have to learn and also break through as a leader. But before I speak of what did I do in the last year, I want to ask you a question. So which of the following would you choose to believe in? Limitations or possibilities? I feel like there's a lot of times that I hear a lot of my coworkers telling me that, Nick, yeah, the past 2 years was really tough. And people were just like saying that, oh yeah, COVID was really harsh because there are restrictions. I know there are some of the countries that they even ban face-to-face meetings. And trust me, it was as bad as it was in Hong Kong too last year. And I was just thinking that, yeah, I don't really have the opportunity to really meet recruitment too. If you're looking at paying attention to the slides, that there are some new platforms like Clubhouse, like Instagram Live that we have been working on, that we try to bring in different elements that we have been doing offline in the past. We try to move it into online. So I think last year is a very high time for you to do recruit because there's a lot of people who were thinking that, oh, my job is secure and my industry is growing and I'm just safe at where I'm at right now. But with COVID, there's a lot of things that shut down, especially like the retail business, especially like the airline business. And so there's a lot of red flags flying over. So it actually gives a lot of push effort to a lot of millennials like me that they feel like, oh, I want to take ownership of my own career. if that's the opportunity, why don't I get a chance to really step out of my own comfort zone? So last year, I developed my first ever podcast with one of my coach that really impacted me a lot, and he's Eric. And I think some of you might be able to attend his lessons or like his sharing before in different occasions. And we did our podcast, and the podcast went really well. And it went across the Southeast Asia, and I think it's still one of the most highest ranking podcasts in the Asia region. And I think just being able to really share your journey and being able to really impact and at the same time interact with people around you. I think that's really what I'm trying to do. And I think with the tools that I've been using, like Spotify, like Clubhouse, like Instagram, that I'm able to really test on different new stuff. So I think this picture really speaks a lot of how people are handling crisis, because you might be the first two person that's just sitting there waiting COVID to pass, even though I just got vaccinated, but I still feel like that, oh yeah, it still take a long process that the society is going back to where it used to be. So for me, instead of just sitting down and waiting, are you willing